Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. This is your no-nonsense guide to the Citadelle Day More Easter egg. If you have any problems at any time, check the video description, but otherwise, let's begin. The first thing you need to do is open up the map and activate the Pack-a-Punch machine as indicated by the orange marker on the side of your screen when you spawn in. If you don't know how to do that, I've got a full guide for it linked in the description and in the corner of the screen right now. The last step of that is to shoot the locks off this box and then kill the ghast that's inside, and it will drop a crystal, and you just grab the crystal and put it in this portal here. That will spawn in the Pack-a-Punch, and then in the adjacent room, if you run over to this little cubby here, you can find a wooden door, and if you wait for the Easter egg dialogue to finish and then you hold square on the door, you'll open up the little window flap and Gabriel Craft inside will talk to you. Next, something very easy you can do is come over to the sitting room, and you need to grab 4 pages which are littered around the room. You'll spot them very easily because they've got a red marking on the front, and when you hold square on each one, it will give you a marker on the top right hand corner of your screen, and you need to run around the room and find 4 of them in total and pick them all up. I'll show you several spawn locations now. We'll start off here facing Stamina Up, then look to your right, there'll be one possible spawn on the wall here. A second spawn for that sheet can be just to the left of it, and a third possible spawn for it can be behind you, which is where I've got it in my game, as you can see. The next sheet could be just here, as you can see I've got it in my game, or it could be on the sofa just here, or it could be next to the TV. The third sheet could be here by the fireplace near the bunk beds, or it could be just to the left here, as you can see in my game, or it could be just there on the table. And then the fourth sheet could be just here behind the zombie that I just had to take out, or it could be here by the boxes, or it could be down below on the floor by the boxes as well. But if you struggle to find any of those, just look around in the area for a glowing red eye on a page and pick it up. And I'll have a list of all spawns in the description as well in case you need some extra help. Next, we need to go to round 10. Now, technically, you can do some other steps before round 10, but because in this guide, I want to make sure that all of the elemental sword steps are grouped together, I'm not going to explain them out of order or like explain some before round 10 and then some after round 10. I don't want to confuse you by talking too much about elemental sword parts out of order here, so for now we're just going to get to round 10. On round 10, you're going to see these knight zombies spawn in who have a knight's helmet on their heads, and you need to take those zombies down, and when you do so, you'll get a stamp part on the floor which you can pick up. When you get the first one of these, you can go over to one of the 4 statues in this room here and hold square on it to deposit the stamp and get yourself a sword. But I'm going to explain these in a particular order, so I'm going to suggest that the first one you do is this lion statue. And you can tell which statue is which 2 ways. Number 1, you can look at the chest plate of the statue, and all of them but the raven have the insignia on the chest, and the raven is just a little raven on its shoulder. But also, once you've grabbed a sword, you can look at the name that it gives you, and if you don't know what the name is, you can just put your sword away and then pull it back out again, and it will show you what the name of the sword is. So you know, oh, okay, I know which sword I'm holding, I can move on with my game. So we're going to do lion sword first. Once you've grabbed the lion sword, take a look up at this crystal here and shoot it from where I'm standing in the game here. And then you just need to copy my location where I'm standing and keep shooting the crystals as I'm doing in my game. And I think the trick to make this work pretty consistently is to sort of stand where the beam is pointing and then shoot back at the crystal from there. So that was the first crystal, like I just said. Then that's the second crystal just there. Then I'm gonna stand under the beam once again and shoot this next crystal. That's gonna reflect into the room here. Gonna stand under the beam, shoot the crystal again. It's not gonna go where I need it to go, so I'm gonna shoot it one more time, and that's gonna line it up once more. And then again, stand under the beam, shoot the crystal, and that will redirect it back to this little statue. Hold square on it, and you'll grab yourself the amulet, and you can then run over here to where this yellow portal will spawn in on the floor and deposit the amulet. And then it's just a soul box where you've got to get a bunch of kills. I think it's about 15 to 20 kills. And once that is completed, the circle will disappear, and this chest will start glowing yellow. Now, to open that chest, we need to complete another light or lion sword objective. So if you go to the next round here, while you've got the lion sword, you're going to see that there are parasites which spawn in which have a yellow glow on them. You need to come over where I'm standing in the gameplay here and melee one of those glowing yellow parasites with your lion sword, and that's going to cause the lion sword to start glowing yellow, and you just then need to melee this door, as you can see here, and that's going to deposit this little symbol on the door. And you just need to repeat this 3 more times. So go back to one of those yellow glowing parasites, kill it with the lion sword, and then bring the yellow charge to the door and redeposit it, and then repeat. Now, if you don't have any yellow glowing parasites, you need to go to the next round, and that will spawn more yellow glowing parasites in. Once you've done this 4 times, you'll have 4 symbols on the door. You can then hold square on the door, and it will put you inside this little chamber. In there, you need to run up to this podium and deposit the lion sword by pulling it out and holding square. And then look down at the podium, and it's going to have a symbol lit up on top of it. You need to shoot the corresponding symbol on the ceiling that it's showing you lit up, and then the symbol on the podium is going to switch to number 2. You need to shoot that symbol. Now, as you're doing this, the symbols that you're shooting are going to move around a little bit, so you might need to take a couple of shots to make sure that you hit it. Once you do all 4 symbols here, you'll then be able to grab the lion's sword back out from the podium, and it will spit you back out of that little room, and you'll have the lion's sword. You can then come back over to that gold chest that we opened up before, and you can hit it with the lion's sword to open that up and unlock your light incantations. Next, if you've already got another stamp, you can go over and exchange the stamp with the dragon statue to get the fire dragon sword, but if you don't have a stamp yet, that means you need to go to the next round and look for a zombie with the helm on once again, and then take it out, grab the stamp from it, and then go and exchange it. Once you've picked up the dragon sword, come over to this dragon statue up the stairs from the Juggernog machine in the middle of the castle and deposit the sword. Then run onto this part of the battlements here, and you'll see that there is a little grate with fire inside. Hold square on that, and then you'll start taking damage, but you just need to run really quickly over to the dragon statue and hold square to deposit the sort of fire energy that you have, and that will be one of 3 of these completed. Now, that particular one you can do without any special tricks. You can just run all the way there and you won't die. It's fine. But this next one that we're going to do here on the left side of the spawn area is going to kill you if you don't do this little trick that we're going to do. So look out for the purple-eyed zombies as you're running, and while you're taking damage, melee one of the purple-eyed zombies, and that's going to instantly kill it, and all your health is going to come back. Then keep on moving back towards the dragon statue, and again, if your health gets too low, just kill a purple-eyed zombie, and that will reset your health to full, and you can then run all the way to the dragon statue and hold square on it to deposit your fire energy once again. Then we're just going to repeat this one more time. This time we're going to go from inside the spawn area. There's another one of the fire grates, and you need to run on the right side of the map this time. So run out on the right-hand side, meleeing the purple-eyed zombies to get your health back as you go, and then deposit the fire inside the dragon statue. It will breathe fire, and after a few seconds, you'll be able to grab the fire sword. Then take the fire sword out onto the castle battlements, and you've got 2 options here. You can either use the fire sword itself for this, or you can use Molotovs. So for the first one, I'll show you how to do it with Molotovs. Come over to this part of the castle ramparts and throw your Molotov at this little pile of wood, and that's going to ignite it if you hit it correctly, and it will spew out a bunch of zombies that you can then take down, and I recommend taking those down with the fire sword. And once you get a bunch of kills with the fire sword, you're going to have your fire special ability charged up, and you can activate it by pressing both your triggers at the same time. So that's what I'm going to do here to activate the second pile of wood. Both those triggers at the same time, hit the wood with the fireballs, and it'll spawn in more zombies. And then this third one, I'm going to show you with a Molotov once again, but you're absolutely welcome to do this with the fire charged attack like I just showed you. You're going to stand where I'm standing and throw the Molotov as I'm doing, and that's going to light up your third bonfire. That will spawn in some more zombies, and it will also, on the third one, spawn in this ghast. And once you take the ghast out with your fire sword, you'll get yourself an Ankh item which you can pick up. You then need to just drop down off the ramparts here and go deposit your Ankh inside this yellow symbol that will light up. And then once again, it's just a soul box, get a bunch of kills here, and once that's finished charging, you'll see that the Ankh disappears and a chest will appear in its place, which you can melee with the fire sword to unlock fire incantations. Next, we're going to do the stag or lightning sword. So once again, if you don't have a stamp, you need to kill the helm zombies to get a stamp, and then you need to give it to the stag statue to get yourself the stag sword. Then for the first stag or lightning part, one of the zombies, after you activate Pack Punch and you talk to Craft, is going to have a lightning rod on it, usually an armored zombie, and usually one that spawns near quick revive typically, and you're going to need to kill that zombie and then pick up the lightning rod that it drops. This will stay on the ground if you don't pick it up, so if you're not sure where it is and you're like, hold on, did I kill the lightning rod zombie? Just go back to where you were killing zombies earlier in your match and look around on the floor, and you should be able to find the lightning rod. The second lightning rod can be found next to the Deadshot Daiquiri machine, so that's on the path from the left side of spawn. You go up the hill there, and it's just resting to the side of the perk. And then the third lightning rod is a little bit more complex. So for this, we need to get ourselves a dead wire. So go over to one of the arsenal machines on the map. I'm going to use this one just here and grab dead wire, and then come over to where I'm showing you in the gameplay just here and shoot this electrical box. Now, if you don't know where I'm standing here, it's quite near to the door that we used for the lion sword a moment ago. But yeah, shoot the electrical box with your dead wire weapon, and it will cause a spark to travel up it, and then you'll see the lightning rod drop out onto the floor. Then head up onto the castle ramparts and place all 3 lightning rods inside this vase. It will start a little storm sequence, and purple-eyed zombies will begin to spawn in. You need to kill maybe 6 to 7 purple-eyed zombies with your lightning sword, and when you do that, you're then going to see that your lightning sword gets charged up. You then need to run over to the vase, and if you melee it like I'm doing here, you'll see that I kind of hit the lightning rod, and it caused me to get shocked by lightning, and that deposited my lightning into the vase and charged up one of the rods. Now, there is a chance that it just doesn't work for you in your game, and you need to kill more zombies here. I had it where I had to do this 5 times in a row, and 3 out of the 5 worked. So if you do it and you don't get the shock animation, then just just keep killing the purple zombies with your lightning sword, and you'll get electrocuted again, and then you can melee the vase again. And when you've done it for the third and final time, you'll see the vase will stop spinning. This is a sign that it is ready for you to place your lightning sword inside, so do that and then run back over to it, and you'll be able to grab your charged lightning sword. Next, you need to come back to where we were just a moment ago with Deadshot Daiquiri and grab yourself this little horseshoe, shoot it from its position on the roof there, and then hold square when it's on the ground to pick it up, and then come up to the cannon here, go to the front of the cannon and hold square to fire yourself out from in front of the cannon. When you do this successfully, you'll see that the horseshoe actually causes a little storm to appear over this building, and the horseshoe will be charged on the ground in front of it, and you can then pick that charged horseshoe up. Then come back to the spawn area of the map and hold square over the yellow insignia once again to deposit the horseshoe, and then fill the soul box with souls. And once you've got enough kills, the soul box will be done, and you'll be able to melee the chest that spawns with the lightning sword, and that will unlock your lightning incantations. Fourth and finally is the Raven. So we're going to go over to the Raven sword and exchange a stamp for the Raven sword. And then once you've grabbed it, you need to come into the alchemical lab that I'm in here and look around for a part. Now, there are several part locations, but you'll only have one of these in your game. So I'm going to show you as many as I can now. The first possible one is a horn, which is on this shelf here at kind of head height. So run over to it, pick it up if you do have it in your game, but if not, then we'll move on. The next possible part is a jawbone that's on the opposite side of the room. Third, if you come over to this corner of the room, you might have a kind of rock looking thing, which is actually a fish fossil. So grab that if you've got it in your game. And the next possible one is a scorpion fossil, and that one is on the table just here, as you can see. So grab that if you've got it in your game. Finally, you might have a pair of bird heads, and that can be on this shelf just here. That's part number 5, or part spawn number 5. If you've checked all 5 of those locations and you still don't have any part, check the description of this video and I'll have any extra locations I've missed listed down there. Once you've grabbed your part from that room, run back towards the spawn area of the map, and underneath the bar, you can find this room here with this metal grate on the wall. And if you hold square on that, you'll be able to deposit your item in the center. You can then insert the Raven sword into the little slot, and once you've done that, you can hold square once again, and it will allow you to start moving the inner and outer rings here. Now, depending on what item you have in your game, it's going to change which combination you need to enter into the rings. So to make life easy for you, I've just pasted all of the different code combinations on the screen here, and so you just need to look at which item you've got in your game and then copy the corresponding inner and outer ring that I've got for that item on the screen. And once again, if you picked up a different item originally, the code for that is going to be listed in the description down below. With your code successfully entered, you'll see a small purple portal open in the floor, and you just need to stand kind of behind it, and purple balls will start spawning out of the rings that we were just using, and they'll flow into the purple portal. But if you run to a different area of the map, the purple balls are going to follow you, so just make sure that you're standing around where those purple portals are. Drag 3 purple balls into the purple portal, and that will close the portal, and it will move to a new location. The next one is in the bar itself, so stand near the purple portal, and you'll kind of drag those purple balls into the purple portal. And once you've dragged 3 or 4 of your purple balls into the hole, that portal will close, and you'll have a third portal just up the steps here by the pool table. So drag your purple balls into the hole once more, and after 3 or 4 of those, you'll see that the hole closes. And if your hole's closed, that's great news, because that means you can just follow the balls down to the rings again and hold square on it, and you'll deposit your sword into the little portal that forms here, and then you can pick your sword back up and you'll have your Raven sword. Next, come back over to the direction of the pack-a-punch machine, and just behind the pack, you're going to see that there's a little sewer access point. This is a cave slide. Pull out a bullet weapon and use the cave slide, and while you're doing so, at the end of it, you're going to see a Raven sitting on this little corner piece here, and you need to shoot the Raven to startle it and make it leave the sewer. Then you'll see the Raven flying around in the air, and you need to shoot the Raven like I've just done, and when you do so successfully, it will go up in a puff of purple smoke, and it will drop a purple talon, which you can run over and pick up. Then come to this water room, which is on the right-hand side when you're entering the castle underground area, and place your talon on the yellow symbol, and then it's a soul box just like before. Get about 20 kills, that will fill the soul box up, and then it will spawn in a chest, which you can melee with the Raven sword, and that will unlock the purple dark incantation. At this point in your game, you should have all 4 incantations unlocked, and so the next thing that we need to do is buy Melee Macchiato. The perk can be found on the castle battlements. Then run down to the water room that we were just in when we were doing the Raven Sword and melee the wall here with Melee Macchiato, and it's going to open up a panel with a bunch of symbols. The order that we need to shoot these symbols in is found in the following way. So come back to the bar area where we just were with the Raven purple portals, and in there you'll see that there are these 6 vials that we can hold square on, and each time we hold square on one, it will reveal a symbol to us. So I'm going to show you the 6 vial locations now. One is just here on this corner table, another's just here on this table with the tablecloth, another is just here in the very corner of the room, another is just here upstairs on this little side table, another's just here in this little booth with the comfy seats, and another is just here on the circular table in the very far corner. So hold square on all of those, and then you'll see the Roman numerals also count from 1 to 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, nice and easy. Then number 4 is IV in Roman numerals. Number 5 is V, and number 6 is VI. And so you need to remember the order of the 6 blue symbols that it's given you, which for me is what I'm showing you on the screen just here, if read left to right. Then when you've got those symbols memorized, come back over to the wall panel that we just opened up a moment ago and shoot the symbols in the order as shown on those vials. That is going to spawn a red orb in when you complete it, and that will open up a little opening in this wall. And you then need to hold square on that to deposit all those pages that we picked up before. And if you missed that, you can skip back to the previous part of the Easter egg guide and that'll explain how to get those. Once all 4 pages are placed, you're gonna need to make a note of what symbols you have on each page. And the order we read these in is top left, top right, bottom right. So for me, that's eyelashes, 4 spikes, eye with a circle, and then all spikes. You then need to use traps around the map that correspond to the order of those symbols that we just saw. So for me, like I said, it was going to be eyelashes first. There are a ton of these trap spawns on the map, and you can find them on your tack map. So pull up your tack map by pulling up your scoreboard and then going to the tab to the side. Or alternatively, I'm just going to show you several spawns for these now. There's 2 here very close to the pages room. Then there's another here in the sitting room area. There's another one here by Deadshot Daiquiri. There's another one here in the castle battlements. There's another one here on the right side of the spawn. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run around the map to all those different traps, and I'm going to look for one that matches my first symbol, which was eyelashes. But you'll need to match one to whatever your first symbol is in your game. When I find it out in the world, I'm going to activate the trap, and then I'm going to get kills from inside the trap. And once I get about 10 to 15 kills in the trap, that's going to automatically end the trap. And if I go back over to the book to check my progress, it will show that that particular symbol is no longer lit, and that's a sign that you completed it successfully. However, if you fail for some reason, like you take too long, or you don't have zombies spawning in, or whatever, you can just do this the next round as well, wait for the trap to come back, and then reactivate the trap and get kills inside it, and the trap will kind of end prematurely when you've gotten enough kills, and that's a sign that you completed it and can move on to your second symbol, which is bottom left on our pages. So run around the map again, looking at the different trap locations, and find the one that has your second symbol, activate the trap, get about 15 kills inside the trap will end prematurely, and then you can move on to your third symbol, and you just need to rinse and repeat with all 4 symbols here. Now, there is a potential issue that some of you may run into, which is that some of the symbols with the spikes have a circle outline around the edges, and others do not. So make sure that if you're looking for all spikes, for example, with no circular outline, you also then find a trap in the map that has no circular outline around those spikes. And if you're confused at any point where you're at, you can always go back to the book, check the pages, see which symbol is the next one for you to do, and then start searching around the map again for all the different trap locations, and activate the trap and use your sword inside it to get kills, and that will complete the step. With all 4 traps finished, that will mean that all 4 of your pages are no longer lit inside the water room where the pages were before. And you can check if you've finished this successfully, because if you come to this part of this staircase here, you'll now see that there are 4 animal symbols on the wall. The order we're going to read these in is as follows. It's top, right, bottom, left. So make a note of what the order of your animal symbols is. Mine is raven, lion, deer, dragon. Then come back to the room with all the knights in it, and in here I'm just going to point out there are 4 incantation boxes, okay? These are going to be used for this next step. There are plenty of other incantation boxes around the map as well, but there are just 4 handily placed in this room for you to use to make your life a bit more convenient. So whatever your first animal was, for me it was raven, you need to grab that incantation and you need to grab that sword. Then come in front of that that sword's statue and use the incantation and then weapon inspect. So on console, that's tapping your left D-pad twice, and I believe you can also do it by holding the D-pad down, and I believe you can get there by pressing I on PC as well. But whatever happens, you just need to weapon inspect while the statue is glowing because you've just used your incantation on it. If completed successfully, the weapon inspect will cause the glow to disappear, and after a few seconds, a yellow glow will appear on the statue, and you can then move on to the second animal in your list. So remember, for me, my second one on the right-hand side was lion. So I'm going to grab the light incantation, and then I'm going to stand in front of the lion statue with the lion sword. I'm going to use the incantation on it. I'm going to weapon inspect straight away afterwards, and then that's going to cause it to light up yellow. Then I'm going to do my third animal, and then I'm going to do my fourth. But obviously in your game, you need to do them in the order that your wall shows you. Now, while you're doing this, just make sure that the previous statue has finished lighting up yellow before you move on to the next one, because otherwise it's not going to activate. So give it a second to fully light up before you switch over to your next incantation and next sword and do your next statue. So with all four of those done, you'll see a ball drop from the sky. It's a mystical orb, and you need to run over to it and hold square to pick it up. Then this next step can be done in any order, but I'm going to show you the order that I think is maybe easiest. We're going to start with the fire sword. So grab the fire sword and head over to the castle grounds or the courtyard and place the mystical orb into this little ball holder. Then when your ball is being held, hold square on it and it will start an elemental challenge. And you'll see that your ball has gotten kind of fiery, and that's a sign that you need to get fire elemental kills around the ball. And you can do this by using the charged attack of the fire sword, or you can also use Molotovs as well. And again, if you don't have the charged attack charged on the sword, get regular kills, and after approximately 20 to 30 kills, you'll get a charge and you'll be able to use the fire charged attack on the zombies in the area to get a load of souls to flow into your ball. You can also use the fire incantation here as well to make your life even easier. Once that's done, no more souls will be flowing into your ball, and you'll be able to go and hold square on it to pick your ball back up out of the ball holder. And if when you run over to it, it says start elemental challenge all over again, that just means that you didn't get enough elemental kills in time and you need to try again, restarting the challenge and getting elemental fire kills. But assuming you've done it correctly, grab the mystical ball, and then we're going to do the lion challenge or the light challenge next. So this one has a ball holder just opposite where Vulturade is, and you need to put your ball into the slot and then start the elemental challenge, and it will spawn in big green balls around the map, which is awesome because you just have to stand in the big green balls, and that will cause souls to fly into your ball slot. And that's basically all you have to do with this one. You just need to stand in the big green balls and make your big green balls flow into your ball slot. And once you've gotten enough of those flowing in, and you can just stand in the big green balls and kill zombies while you're waiting for it to flow in as well, that's fine. But once enough of them have flowed in, your elemental challenge will be completed and you'll be able to take your ball back out of the slot. So you've now got 2 balls done, which is good news. Next, we're going to grab the Raven Sword. And for this, I also recommend grabbing the purple dark incantation as well, and come down to the ball slot in the water room, place your ball inside, and then start the elemental trial. And for this, we need to get void kills, but specifically, it's the kills that suck up the zombies and then drop them from the sky. So if you're not sucking zombies here, your balls are not going to get charged up. So you need to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to suck the zombies, whether that's the incantation, whether that's the charged attack on the purple sword, or I believe Shadow Rift might also work here as well. But whatever happens, you need to suck as many zombies as possible, as fast as possible, get them to drop from the sky, and that will then cause their souls to flow into your balls, and you'll complete the elemental trial, and you'll be able to pick your ball back up again at the end. Fourth and finally is the lightning trial, so go grab the lightning sword, and then place your mystical ball into the slot here, and for this, we're going to be getting as many electrical kills as we can. And this one is really straightforward, I think, so I'm going to be using the electrical incantation that's just to the side of me to get as many electric kills as I can, and then I'm going to use the charged attack on the electric sword, and that's going to shock a bunch of zombies, and once they're shocked enough, your balls will start filling up, and you'll then be able to go grab your mystical orb once it's completed, and you'll have 4 balls charged. So with all of these balls done, you're now about to go into boss fight. So you need to prepare for boss. That means getting as many perks as you possibly can. Tier 3 Pack-a-Punch is a good idea. I'd recommend a bullet weapon for this. I do not think that the ray gun is the best move. And I'd also recommend bringing in mutant injectors and potentially bringing in gobblegums as well. Then when you're ready for boss fight, come over to the wall that had our 4 animals on it before, hold square to put your ball into the hole, and it's going to cause the wall to recede, and you can then run over to this and grab the guardian key that is sitting on the table, and you can also activate a little dialogue sequence here as well. Now, you don't need to stick around for the dialogue, you just need to make sure that you've grabbed that red cylinder, and then you need to come to the spawn area and place your cylinder into the hole, and then your team needs to vote to start the boss fight, and it's going to cause the golem to wake up. This begins the boss fight. Initially in the boss fight, you're going to be trying to get behind the golem and shoot its back, and once you've shot it in the back a bunch, you're going to break a seal on its back, and that's going to cause it to start taking more damage. Then various body parts of the golem are going to be glowing as you shoot it, and you need to shoot those to get crit damage, or you can just shoot it elsewhere to get regular damage. The golem is a bit of a bullet sponge, so pour a lot of ammo into it, and if you need to buy ammo, there is ammo in the room that you can grab. And then eventually, once you get it down to about, let's say, 20% of its health lost, it will go into an immune phase. During the immune phase, you just need to survive. You don't need to worry about using the incantations or something. Just make sure that you live and take out the zombies that are around you as well. And it's probably a good time to make sure that you're scavenging for as much armor as possible. And it's a pretty decent time to charge your sword as well. Then during the next phase, once again, just keep maneuvering around the boss and looking for its weak points. And there are certain times where it doesn't have any weak points available. You might need to break its weak point open, just like we did with its back originally. But the weak points can be on its wrists, they can be its little gauntlets, they can be on his shoulders, they can be on his knees, they can also, towards the end of the fight, be on his chest, and they can be on his face as well. And as you're going through this, I'd recommend, if things start getting a bit sketchy, using a mutant injector and staying as far away from the boss as you can, and then using the mutant injector cannon to give the boss like shots to the face. And that's going to do between 15 and like 40k damage as well. So that's pretty decent, and it will obviously mean that you're immune to zombies while you're inside the mutant injector. Keep working on the boss, and eventually the final phase will have its chest open, and you just need to give it shots onto its chest. And with enough chest shots, the boss will die, and you'll have completed the Easter egg. Congratulations, and if this no-nonsense guide was useful, then maybe some no-nonsense merch might also be of interest to you. It's on milomerch.com, linked in the description for you to click through to, should you be interested in doing so. Thank you, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.